Hey everyone, you ever been reading the Bible and suddenly hit a part that just makes you stop and go, wait a minute, that doesn't add up? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. So today we're gonna jump right into some of those tough questions, these so-called plot holes, and see if we can make sense of them. And we're starting with a bombshell of a claim, basically that the whole story of Satan being cast out of heaven, one of the most famous stories ever, isn't actually in the Bible. Now that's a pretty big accusation against the text's coherence. So is the story really missing, or are we just not looking in the right places? Okay, to figure this out, we need the right tools for the job. Think of these as our investigative toolkit. We've got soteriology, which is all about salvation. That's going to help us with the whole problem of evil thing. Then there's Christology, the study of who Jesus is, which is crucial for those paradoxes about him. And finally, exegesis, which is just the fancy word for digging into what a text actually meant to its original audience. That one's going to be our go-to for pretty much everything. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by looking at the critique itself. Then we're going to tackle 4 big objections one by one. Satan's supposedly missing origin story, the mystery of when angels were made, that classic God and evil dilemma, and a real head-scratcher about Jesus. And then, at the end, we'll see how it all connects with one big idea. All right, let's dive into that first objection, the idea that the Bible is weirdly quiet about where Satan came from. Is this a giant plot hole? I mean, is the villain's backstory just missing? So the argument is pretty straightforward. If there's no chapter titled The Biography of Lucifer, then does the story even count as being in the Bible? And you know, the critic is right about one thing. The Bible is absolutely not a biography of Satan. Not even close. The focus is somewhere else entirely. But does that mean the story isn't there? Or is it just told in a different way? This gets at a really common logical trap called the fallacy of silence. It's basically assuming that if something isn't spelled out for you in one neat little package, it must not exist. But the biblical reality is, well, it's just not written like that. The story is woven thematically, like a tapestry, with important threads appearing in different books written centuries apart. And this is how you start to piece that puzzle together. For the why of the fall, pride, you look at these incredible passages in Isaiah and Ezekiel. They're talking about the fall of human kings, but the language they use, it points to something much bigger, a cosmic divine being. Then you jump to Revelation for the how, where it literally describes a war in heaven. And for the core reason, 1 Timothy connects the dots for us, linking the devil's condemnation directly to pride. So you see, the story is there. It's just not a simple campfire story. And this whole idea of finding pieces of the story in different places brings us straight to our second objection. Okay, so if Satan and the angels fell from heaven, when were they even created in the first place? Right? The question makes perfect sense. You read Genesis chapter 1 and you get the whole play-by-play. Light, earth, sky, animals, humans. But not a single word about angels or any other spiritual beings. It feels like a pretty huge omission, doesn't it? Like, where did they come from? Well, this objection is built on assuming that Genesis 1 has to be the only creation story in the entire Bible. It's like thinking the first scene of a movie has to explain every character's complete backstory. The reality is, Genesis 1 has a super specific job, getting the physical planet ready for humanity. It's not trying to be a complete history of the entire cosmos. And this timeline shows it perfectly. If you go to the book of Job, which is one of the oldest books in the Bible, God is talking to Job and he asks him, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation and all the sons of God shouted for joy?" Whoa! So the angels, the sons of God, were already there, watching and celebrating as the physical world was being made. And if that wasn't clear enough, the New Testament just hammers the point home. Colossians says that through Christ, all things were created, things visible and invisible. And then it even lists different ranks of angelic beings. So yeah, a whole invisible spiritual realm was created. It just wasn't the main